whom his fellow men will take for a god. In other words, mankind has reached that intellectual stature, understanding, capacity, that you will not worship another human being as God. That's what he said. One of the greatest thinkers of the past century. Mankind is now past that stage of worshipping human beings. And yet he was wrong, you know. Look, 1840, that's 147 years ago. 147 years ago. The Christian world, more than 1,000 million, they all worship Jesus Christ as a man God. My people in India, they worship Rama as the 7th incarnation of God, Krishna as the 8th incarnation of God, Buddha as the 9th incarnation of God, and they believe in endless incarnations, that God coming down to earth as a man, again and again. Shirk, the amount of shirk in the world. You know, we recite the talbiyah when we go for Hajj. For the first time when I went for Hajj about 3 years ago, then I realized, I sensed what was going on. Even the most illiterate of us. You know, by the time we finish off, the words are automatically, you know, it become part of us. It's a labbaik, Allahumma labbaik, la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk, la sharika lak, la sharika lak. How many times do you say that? Automatically now everybody knows. La sharika lak, he has no associates, he has no partners, there's no mushrik. That's what you say. That's not true. You say la sharika lak. This is the slogan that was given to us 1400 years ago. That when you come out from there, you look for mushriks. To say that there's no mushriks around. La sharika lak. When we testify that there is no shirk, nobody associated with him, find those who associate beings with Allah. Find them and rectify them. But after 1400 years, there are still more people on earth who are worshipping men and monkeys, elephants and snakes. Men and monkeys, women, elephants, snakes. You know that? Then the worshippers of Allah Bari Ta'ala. Why? Because we have stopped propagation. You stop giving dawah. We are all petrified, terrified to open your mouths. We ruled India for 1,000 years and we didn't do the job. 1,000 years. We ruled Spain for 800 years, we didn't do the job. Our Turkish brethren ruled Cyprus for 400 years, they didn't do the job. No. It is about time that this talbiyah, what we learn, is a slogan. The United Nations, every year they create slogans. And they dish them out all over the world. They spread them in the agencies all over the world. Slogans, some slogan. It says, this is water year, water year. It says, use it, don't abuse it. This is Islamic. The slogan is Islamic. Water is for use, not abuse. Use it, don't abuse it. And the whole world, every country in the world speaks about water. This is water year. Use it, don't abuse it. Use it, don't abuse it. This is the purpose of a slogan. This is the year of the aged, old people. It says, women, it says, an old age home is not her destiny. An old age home is not her destiny. Your mother, your grandma, you don't put them in an old age home. You must look after them, cherish them, protect them. Yes. Allah tells you in the Quran how you must, cover them like wings, birds, how they nestle the little ones. That's what you are supposed to do to your parents, not an old age home. So slogans, slogans. What for? That you imbibe that lesson. For the trees, plant trees, plant trees. So all of those people start planting trees. For 1400 years, we make the slogan, La Sharika Lak, La Sharika Lak, and mushriks all around us, and we do nothing about it. So what were you doing there with that talbiyah? La Sharika Lak, La Sharika Lak. What for? What were you doing that for? Oh, I said, now I become a Haji. I got a title now. Yeah, what else? So this Thomas Carlyle, he ends, this is not the end of the talk, but he ends his lecture. There's so many beautiful things he says. So many beautiful things. He doesn't become a Muslim because he had a sickness. There was a sickness. This is almost among all these clever people, like Michael H. Hart. Look, he says Muhammad is number one, but he doesn't become a Muslim. Why? Lamartine, he says the greatest man that ever lived is Muhammad. He doesn't become a Muslim. Why? Reverend Bosworth Smith, he writes a book on Muhammad and Mohammedanism, in which he says about our Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam is illiterate himself, scarcely able to read or write. He was yet the author of a book, which is a poem, a code of laws, a book of common prayers, and a Bible all in one. And is reverenced to this day by a sixth of the whole human race as a miracle of purity of style, of wisdom, and of truth. It is the one miracle claimed by Muhammad. His standing miracle, he called it, and a miracle indeed it is. And yet he doesn't become a Muslim. Thomas Carlyle, he says, the word of such a man is a voice direct from nature's own heart. Men do and must listen to that as to nothing else. All else is wind in comparison. Compared to what this man Muhammad is talking, everything else is hot air, rubbish. But he doesn't become a Muslim. You know why? Look, in the words I quoted, you see, the secret is there, the sickness is there. What did he say? He said, the word of such a man is a voice direct from nature's own heart. The word of such a man, these are the words of Muhammad. Very clever man. We take off our hat to him, but why must I accept his faith, religion? Okay? The word of such a man. Bosworth Smith, what did he say? He said, illiterate himself, scarcely able to read or write. He was yet the author of a book. Who's the author of the book? He, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So we take off our hat to him. They would say, clever man. He's a genius. He's a master, orator. The language is so beautiful, it outshines every other Arabic literature. There isn't another Arabic literature on earth that can compare with this. Every other literature, the highest form of literature is the Bible. If you want the best literature in any language, I say get the Bible. In English, the English Bible. In Zulu, the Zulu Bible. In Afrikaans, the Afrikaans Bible. Come on, talk. In every language, the Bible is top literature, except Arabic. Why best in every other language? Because the best brains, they go to produce them, translate them, best. When it comes to Arabic, this is not Muhammad's handiwork. This is Allah's kalam. Because it's Allah's kalam, there is no match, no compare, no comparison. However, this is the sickness of people. This man, Michael at heart, he says about Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he was the author of the Muslim holy book, the Quran. He says Quran. Of course, that's not the correct word, it's Quran. The Quran, a collection of certain of Muhammad's insights, which he believed had been directly revealed to him by Allah. Which he believed means I don't believe. That's the sickness. Is Muhammad's insights. These are not Muhammad's insights. These are coming from the Lord of the worlds, the omnipotent, the omniscient. You see, this is the sickness. However, that is another topic. This man, Carlyle, he ends that beautiful lecture of his, and he pays a tribute to the Arab nation, to the Arab people. He said, a poor shepherd people. That is what they were, a poor shepherd people, roaming unnoticed in its desert since the creation of the world. Nobody gave them a second look. That's history. Alexander the Great passed them by on his way to India. The Egyptians passed them by. The Syrians passed them by. The Persians passed them by. Nobody was prepared to take on this liability. This liability, the Arabs. They didn't know that oil would come out here. See? They didn't know that. Nobody. Gibbon, the master historian, he describes the Arabs before Islam of the Ayyamul Jahiliyyah. He says the human brute, almost without sense, is poorly distinguished from the rest of the animal creation. The only difference between this man and the animal is the form. The form. Allah says, Fi ahsani taqweem, He has made you in the best of forms. Otherwise, He is worse than animals. And what happens to them through this new message, new revelation Allah Bari Ta'ala sends through them? He chooses them. One of the most backward nations on earth, an ummi people, illiterate people, and an ummi prophet is sent to them. See what happens. This is the poor shepherd people, roaming unnoticed in its desert since the creation of the world. See, the unnoticed becomes world notable. The small has grown world great. Within 1 century afterwards, Arabia is at Granada on this hand and Delhi on that. Glancing in valor and splendor and the light of genius, Arabia shines over a great section of the world.